She stood behind him, close enough to smell his coat, close enough that if he turned fast, their faces would touch. Her voice did not come out strong. It came out broken. "Please, please pretend you are my husband." The man froze. Not because the words were strange, but because of the way she said them, like someone asking for air when they are already drowning. The room around them was full of rich people laughing, talking, drinking, pretending the world was safe. Music played softly. No one was looking at her. That was the problem. Her hands were shaking so badly she had to lock her fingers together to stop them. Her eyes were fixed on one place across the room, where a man stood smiling, relaxed, like he owned the night. He was watching her. She knew that look. She had seen it years ago, in a place with no windows, no clocks, and no mercy. The man behind her was the only person in the room with enough power to make that smile disappear, even for one night. "If he thinks I am alone," she whispered, her mouth almost touching his shoulder, "he will not stop. He never stops." The man she was begging did not know her name. He did not know her story. He did not know why her voice sounded like it had already cried too much. But when he slowly turned and looked into her face, he saw something that did not belong in a ballroom. Fear that came from memory, not imagination. Across the room, the smiling man noticed. His smile changed. And in that small moment, with music playing and people clapping, a lie was about to become a line that would change everything. Alicia Brown never planned to speak to anyone at the gala. She did not plan to be seen. She did not plan to be remembered. Her plan was simple: finish her shift, collect her pay, go back to her small rented room, lock the door, and sleep without fear for one more night. The hall was large, too large for her comfort. White walls, long tables, bright lights that made it impossible to hide. People moved around in fine clothes, laughing loudly, holding drinks they did not finish. Every sound felt heavy in Alicia's ears, like the room was too alive. She wore a plain gray uniform, clean, pressed, simple, the kind of clothes meant to make you disappear. That was how she survived, by disappearing. She walked slowly along the wall, holding a tray with empty glasses, keeping her eyes down. She had done this kind of work for years. She knew how to move without drawing attention. She knew which corners were safe, which faces to avoid. Then someone stepped into her path. Hard. The tray hit his chest. Glasses fell. One shattered on the floor with a loud, sharp sound that cut through the room. People turned. Alicia froze. "Oh, come on," the man said loudly. "Can you not see where you're going?" Her mouth opened at once. "I'm sorry, sir. Then she looked up, and her blood went cold. Victor Hale. He looked older, but not different. Same calm face, same eyes that watched without warmth, same small smile that never meant anything good. He bent down like he wanted to help her, but his face came close to her ear. His voice was low, soft, private. "I told you I would find you," he said. "You really thought you were gone forever?" Her legs felt weak. The room tilted. "No one will help you," he went on. "Not this time." He stood up fast and raised his voice. "She ran into me," he said to the people watching. "Almost knocked me over." Alicia was still on the floor. Her palms hurt. Her chest felt tight. No one asked if she was okay. A man in a black suit, the floor manager, pushed forward. His face was red with anger. "What is this mess?" he snapped. He did not look at Victor. He looked only at Alicia. "You again." "I'm sorry," she said, trying to stand. "You are always sorry," he said. "Always careless. This is a high-level event. Do you know how bad you make us look?" Her throat closed. Losing this job would mean losing everything. The room she rented, the bus money, the small safety she had built piece by piece. "I didn't mean." "I don't care," he said. "One more problem and you're gone. Do you hear me?" "Yes," she whispered. Victor smiled as he walked away. That was when Alicia understood something deep and painful. He was not afraid, because she was alone. She stood slowly and picked up the broken glass. Her hands shook, her eyes burned, but she did not cry. Crying made people angry. She looked around the room, searching for a way out, but then she felt it. That feeling, like someone standing too close behind you. She turned slightly and saw him. Daniel Wright. He was tall, calm, wearing a dark suit that fit him perfectly. People spoke to him with careful smiles. When he moved, others made space without thinking. He was the most powerful man in the room. Victor knew it too. Alicia's chest tightened. Her heart felt like it would tear apart her ribs. She had only seconds. If Victor thought she was alone, he would follow her. If Victor followed her, she might not escape again. She stepped closer to Daniel, too close, close enough that it felt wrong. Her voice came out in a whisper. "Please, please pretend you are my husband." Daniel turned slowly. He expected a guest, a donor, someone asking for a favor. Instead, he saw a woman in a maid's uniform, pale, shaking, her eyes fixed on someone across the room. Fear lived in her face. Not the fear of embarrassment. Not the fear of losing a job. The fear of someone who remembers pain. "What's wrong?" he asked quietly. "He's here," she said fast. "The man who hurt me. If he thinks I'm alone, he won't stop." Daniel followed her gaze without moving his head. Victor stood near the bar, laughing, relaxed, his hand resting on a woman's shoulder. Daniel knew that kind of man. Men who smile because they believe nothing can touch them. Daniel reached for Alicia's hand. She jumped slightly, but did not pull away. He held her fingers firmly and lifted their joined hands. Then he placed his arm around her waist like it was the most natural thing in the world. "There you are," he said warmly. "I was wondering where you went." People noticed. Whispers moved through the room. Victor turned. His smile froze. His eyes moved from Daniel's face to Alicia's, then to the way Daniel held her. Something dark passed through Victor's expression. He lifted his glass slightly, then turned away. "Not tonight." Alicia's knees almost gave out. Daniel felt it and held her tighter. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't know what you just did." "Then tell me," he said. He guided her toward a quiet door leading outside. The air was cool. The noise of the party faded behind them. They stood near a pillar, half hidden. "My name is Alicia Brown," she said. "That man's name is Victor Hale. He kidnapped me years ago, locked me in a place with others. They did things to us." Daniel listened without interrupting. "I escaped," she continued. "The police said there wasn't enough proof. Now he's here, watching me, reminding me I was never safe." Daniel looked back through the glass. "He won't touch you tonight," he said. "Not ever again." Alicia looked at him in disbelief. "You don't have to help me," she said. "I don't want trouble." Daniel's voice was steady. "You already have trouble. I'm just choosing which side I'm on." Inside the ballroom, music played. Laughter rose. Outside, under the quiet night sky, a line had been drawn, and neither of them knew yet how much blood and truth that line would uncover. Alicia did not sleep that night. She lay on her narrow bed, staring at the ceiling of the small room she rented behind an old shop. Every sound made her body tense. A passing car, a door closing somewhere, footsteps in the hallway. She kept seeing Victor's face. Not shouting, not angry, calm. That calm was what scared her most. At sunrise, she sat up and pressed her palms together until they stopped shaking. She told herself it was over. He had backed away. He had seen her with Daniel Wright. Men like Victor did not like attention. But deep inside, she knew the truth. Victor never stopped. He only waited. Her phone buzzed on the thin mattress. A message. Unknown number. You did well last night. We need to talk. Her breath caught. Then another message came. Daniel Wright. Noon. Harbor Cafe. She stared at the screen for a long time. How did he get her number? Then she remembered. The guest list. The staff records. People like Victor always knew more than they showed. She did not reply. At noon, Alicia stood outside the cafe, her coat pulled tight around her body. She scanned the street before stepping inside. Daniel was already there. He sat alone at a small table. No suit this time, just a simple shirt. He looked like a different man in daylight, less distant, more human. You came, he said. I almost didn't, Alicia replied. That means you should have, he said gently. They sat in silence for a moment. I thought pretending last night would be enough, she said finally. I thought he would disappear. Daniel shook his head. Men like him don't disappear. They hide. Her hands tightened around her cup. I don't want to drag you into this. You didn't, he said. He did. She took a slow breath. What if he comes after you? Daniel looked at her steadily. Then he makes a mistake. That was when she realized something. Daniel Wright was not afraid. Not because he was careless. Because he was used to standing in storms. Tell me everything, he said. From the beginning. So she did. She told him about the clinic where she worked 2 jobs just to survive. About the man who offered money for a medical test. About the warehouse with no signs. About the needles, the cold tables, the questions that made no sense. She told him about the women who screamed until they stopped screaming. She told him how she ran barefoot into the dark when a door was left unlocked. She told him how no one believed her. When she finished, Daniel's jaw was tight. This wasn't random, he said. This was planned, funded, protected. She nodded. That's why he's not scared. Daniel leaned back. Then we make him scared. He stood and paid for the drinks. I have cameras at the estate, he continued. Security records, guest lists, face scans. If Victor came once, he's been before. Alicia hesitated. What if we find nothing? Daniel met her eyes. Then we keep digging. That afternoon, Alicia walked through the large doors of Daniel's estate again, but this time she did not wear a uniform. She felt exposed. Inside a quiet office, screens lit the walls. Daniel's assistant, a sharp woman named Laura, tapped quickly on a tablet. He checked in under an alias, Laura said. Victor Hale isn't his real name. Alicia felt sick. I knew it. 5 names. Laura continued. 3 shell companies, 1 closed lab in New Mexico. Shut down quietly. Daniel looked at Alicia. He didn't stop. He just moved. Alicia sat slowly. Her past was no longer behind her. It was alive. Then Laura paused. There's more, she said. She pulled up a still image from an old event. Victor, smiling, standing near children at a fundraiser. Alicia turned away, tears finally falling. He enjoys being seen as safe, she whispered. Daniel's voice was low. We won't let him hide behind that. As night came, Daniel walked Alicia to a guest room. You're safe here, he said. She shook her head. Nowhere is safe. He nodded. Then we make it safer. Later, as Alicia stared out the window, her phone buzzed again. Another message. You can't hide behind him forever. Then one last line. I know where you sleep. Alicia's breath stopped. She showed Daniel. He read it once, then again. "That's it," he said. "What?" she asked. "He crossed a line," Daniel replied. "And now he doesn't get to choose how this ends." Outside, the estate lights glowed softly. Inside, a quiet war had begun, and Victor Hale had no idea how close he was to losing everything. The next days moved slowly, but the danger felt closer. Alicia stayed inside the estate. She did not go near windows. She did not walk alone. Even when the house felt quiet, her body did not believe it. Daniel increased security without making noise about it. Extra guards came and went at odd hours. Cameras were checked twice a day. Doors that were never locked before were now always locked. Still, Alicia felt watched. Not by cameras, by memory. One evening, Daniel asked her to sit with him in his office again. Laura was there, her face serious. "We traced Victor's money," Laura said. "It doesn't move like normal money. It jumps. One company to another. Different states. Different names." Daniel leaned forward. "Where does it land?" Laura turned the screen. "A warehouse outside Savannah. Old. Empty on paper." Alicia's stomach turned. "I've seen places like that," she said quietly. "They all look empty." Daniel nodded. "We're not going in blind." That night, Alicia told Daniel something she had not said before. "There was another woman," she said. "Her name was Rachel. She escaped too." Laura looked up. "Do you know where she is?" "Last I heard," Alicia said. "Atlanta. She worked at a diner near the bus station." Daniel stood. "Then we start there." They drove before sunrise. No loud talk. No music. Just the road and the sound of tires. Alicia watched trees pass by and felt the weight of years pressing on her chest. Every mile closer to Atlanta felt like walking backward into pain. They found the diner just after noon. Small, old, smelled like oil and coffee. Rachel was thinner than Alicia remembered. Her hair was shorter, her eyes tired. When she saw Alicia, she froze. "You're real," Rachel said. "So are you," Alicia replied. They hugged. Long. Tight. No words. Inside a quiet booth, Alicia told her everything. Rachel listened without interrupting. "He's still doing it," Rachel said when Alicia finished. "He never stopped." Daniel leaned in. "Do you know where?" Rachel nodded slowly. "A wellness clinic near Savannah. They say they treat stress. They don't." That night, they watched the clinic from a distance. Lights stayed on late. Vans came and went. Laura's voice came through the radio. "I'm pulling camera feeds." Inside the van, Alicia's hands were cold. A woman walked out of the clinic with two men. Her steps were slow. Her head hung low. Alicia swallowed hard. "She's drugged." Daniel's voice was tight. "We wait." The next night, they followed a van. It stopped at an empty road near a river. Daniel moved fast. The guards did not expect resistance. When the van door opened, Alicia saw them. Women, tied, breathing slow, alive. Rachel cried quietly. They got the women out, wrapped them in blankets, called a private medical team. As sirens came closer, Alicia found papers in the van. Names, numbers, notes. At the bottom, a signature. Victor Hale. Back at the estate, Alicia sat alone in the guest room, staring at the papers. She was shaking. Daniel knocked softly and came in. "You did not break," he said. "You saved them." She looked up. "Why do I feel worse?" "Because now you know how big this is," he said. She nodded. Later that night, Laura came in fast. "There's a leak," she said. "Someone tried to erase files." Daniel stood. "Victor knows." Alicia's phone buzzed. One message. "You should have stayed quiet." Then another. Now I have to clean up. Alicia's hands clenched. Daniel took the phone and looked at her. We don't hide anymore, he said. She nodded slowly. For the first time in years, Alicia did not feel small. She felt angry. And ready. Outside, the night stayed quiet. Too quiet. Like something holding its breath. The night Victor tried to erase everything was the night Alicia stopped running. The estate went dark just after midnight. Not fully dark, but wrong dark. Lights stayed on, but cameras froze. Doors still locked, but alarms went silent. Daniel felt it before anyone said a word. This is not a mistake, he said calmly. Laura rushed into the room. Someone cut into the system from outside. This isn't a test. Alicia stood up slowly. Her body felt steady in a way it never had before. He's coming, she said. Daniel looked at her. Then we meet him prepared. Security moved fast. Guards took positions. Phones were taken off the network. Files were copied onto hard drives and sealed away. Still, Alicia felt it. Victor was close. Minutes later, a guard's voice came through the radio, tight and low. We have movement near the west gate. Daniel didn't raise his voice. Lock it down. Alicia stepped closer to him. He won't stop at the gate. As if on cue, a loud crack echoed through the grounds. A side door alarm screamed once, then died. Laura swore under her breath. He planned this. Daniel handed Alicia a small device. If anything happens, press this. It sends everything we have to the press. All of it. She looked at it. And you? Daniel met her eyes. I'm not leaving. Footsteps sounded in the hallway. Slow, confident. Victor stepped into the light. No mask, no rush. Same calm face. You should have taken the money when you had the chance, Victor said, looking at Alicia. You were always useful when you stayed quiet. Alicia did not move back. You hurt people, she said. You used them. You killed some of them. Victor shrugged. That's not how the world works. People like you exist so people like me can build things. Daniel stepped forward. This ends tonight. Victor smiled. You think the truth will save you? I know it will, Alicia said. Victor turned to her. You survived once by luck. You won't survive again. Before he could move, guards rushed in from both sides. Victor tried to run. He didn't make it far. They held him down until police sirens filled the air. Victor's smile vanished. As officers dragged him away, he looked at Alicia one last time. This doesn't end, he said. They'll replace me. Alicia's voice was steady. Then we'll stop them too. The next morning, the story broke. Not a small story. Not a quiet one. Every file went public. Every name. Every location. Every payment. Daniel stood beside Alicia as cameras flashed. She spoke slowly. My name is Alicia Brown, she said. I was taken years ago. I escaped. I was ignored. But I remembered. Behind her, rescued women stood together. Some held hands. Some cried. I speak for those who could not stand here, Alicia continued. For those who were told to be quiet, this ends now. The arrests came fast. Clinics shut down. Accounts frozen. Powerful people named. Victor's network collapsed like wet paper. Days later, Alicia sat alone on the estate steps. The air felt lighter. Daniel sat beside her. You did this, he said. She shook her head. We did. Silence passed between them. Not heavy. Not painful. Peaceful. What will you do now? Daniel asked. Alicia thought for a moment. I will help others, she said, and I will live. Daniel smiled. Inside, the house felt different. No fear. No hiding. just the sound of people breathing free. Alicia stood up. For the first time, she did not look over her shoulder. The story did not end with fear. It ended with truth. And that was enough. Dear viewers, if this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to pause and breathe with it. Stories like this are not just for entertainment. They carry pain, truth, and hope that many people live with every day. Before you move on, I want to ask you 3 questions. What would you do if you were in Alicia's place and no one believed you? Have you ever stayed silent about something that hurt you because you were afraid? Do you believe one brave voice can really change many lives? If your answer to any of these is yes, then this story is also about you. Please like this video if you believe silence should never protect evil. Please comment and share where you are watching from. Your voice matters here. And please subscribe so more stories like this can be told and heard. Sometimes, the smallest action, a like, a comment, a share, is how truth travels. Thank you for watching.